So the intake boot comes with the rubber bits kit, obviously. And the ring that holds it on is in with these other carburetor parts, or other intake parts rather. There's a positioner at the base. I don't know which way is best to put this thing. Probably this, so I can get the screw this way. Try that. Anaerobic sealer. You don't really need it, but use it anyway. Not a good spot for a leak. Really does not like having this ring on. So let's see if I can put this on first and put the ring over. Yes. Normally that doesn't work, but I guess on this one it did. I like a little blue Loctite right on the screw for the intake boot, and screw it on down. Now this does not need to be super tight, I don't think. So I'm just going to leave it right there. So all surfaces are clean. Time for the 1184. You can use a gasket here if you want. If you want the extra performance, then you can do the gasket delete. Up to you. And even if you're running a gasket, you technically don't even need sealer. Let that set for a second and get tacky. Now these cylinder head bolts, you'll note, do not fit all the way through. So you basically got to fit them in ahead of time. And they're already Loctited, so I'm not going to worry about adding some more Loctite to these. Trickiest part about this is going to be getting these silly rings in. Double check the exhaust arrow is going in the direction of the exhaust. Alright, let's see if we can get these rings in. First one's good. Usually the first one's not the problem. Usually it's the second one for me. Ooh, we did good today. Now, I don't have any oil internally. I definitely oil things later, because if I put oil down now, it might interfere with the base gasket delete material, the 1184. And unfortunately, I do not have a long T27 for my drill, so I have to use this. I'm all started. Walt likes to bring this down. Gentle at first. I forgot, and I'm lucky enough that it doesn't run into it, but you can end up with clearance issues. Also, since I did drop the cylinder head, you can run into clearance issues with the flywheel too, but apparently that's alright. Definitely cleared the case all the way around, so we're in fine shape. So, go around and tighten. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double check. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Kind of nice squeeze out all the way around, so we're in fine shape there as far as sealing goes. If this is like the 660, there are AV mounts here, so let's go have an adventure with those. So let's do the easy ones first. Start knocking some of these down. These AV mounts, looks like you should just be able to slap some grease on these and go. So they do go in and go click, and they don't sit flush, they sit in a bit. So good. A little bit of grease helps. Now, this guy here, I think it really looks like it goes in here, but this is going to be difficult to do because you got to tuck it in there. And what's nice is on the Huskies they have this little tab, and you just pull it through, and no big deal. Here, no tab. Let's see if I can just push it. There's no need for that hole to be that small. I'm going to make it bigger, just to make my life easier with the Dremel tool. So on the Husky rubber bumpers, they actually have this little tab here. So if you're pulling the rubber bumper through, you grab this tab and you do this, and it goes kaboom and right through, and then you can cut the tab off. So that's a whole lot easier. That's stupid, and I know it goes there. I just looked at the parts list. While we're here, let's do the oiler. So this looks like an identical oiler pickup to the 660. Filter, pickup. Put a little sealer on here, just for giggles, but you don't have to. Brake cleaner on the hole here. Then you can feed your oiler through. If you're having trouble, go to the other side with your hemostats, grab and pull. That'll be fine there. And now that we have that in there, let's take our oil cap, stick it in. The ball piece goes in here, grabs, and you pull up on it just to seat it, and then you turn down. These flippy caps are not that expensive from the dealer, so if you have trouble with them, just get new from the dealer. Not a big deal at all. Back to the oiler itself. So now the oiler itself, just a tad of sealer on that. Put the oiler on there. And what you can do, I saw somebody else assembling these and they were saying that these are through-hole bolts. They're not, at least not on this particular crankcase. I still Loctite these in anyway. So two, I believe these are 12mm M4 bolts for the oiler. There you go. There's one. Two. Now, I am unsure of the routing here for the oiler line. If I need to adjust something later, we can do that. Sometimes there's a washer that goes down here. I don't see one, so I'm going to put the oiler pinion down. Now, Walt has had issues with these oilers, so you might want to get the highway model. Looks like that. A bit of rubber goes there, and then hooks into the oiler. That would be kind of simple and nice. That would make sense. Kind of assuming the other rubber line is for impulse line. That's interesting. So that goes on there. I assume we're going to have to cut this off. So let's look at the tank. Again, while we're here, we might as well install the fuel cap. Pull up. Turn. That fit better. It looks like this rubber piece goes in here. That's at least fairly obvious. And maybe it sits there? So I do know this trick does work. Take your string, small string, wrap it around. Rubber AV mount here. In. Hopefully this whole thing just... Alright, now we'll worry about the string. So this one gets wound around here. This one, you more or less position the intake here. And grab this and pull. When this works right, it's about the most brilliant thing you've ever seen. There we go. That's it. Do not forget your ring here. Wow, that was tough to get in there. And it still wants to fall right out. I'm pretty convinced that is the wrong retaining ring for this saw. It just doesn't fit. I've never had trouble with a ring like that before. You know, you just place it and that's it. So in here we have the brass nipple, rubber line. I have to assume this is the impulse line here. I'm going to go to this nipple here. Need a set of hemostats or pointy nose pliers. Good to go. And then the other end of this looks like it comes right up here. So like the 200T, this is a poor design. This nipple is down, the brass one is proper. This one up here has no barb on it. So this can fall off at any given time, which really isn't the best. I'm always sitting there and astounded as to why they made it without a little bulge at the end. Something would be fine. Nope, no bulge, nothing. Might make sense to do the flywheel ignition coil and some of the electronics at this point. Wow, that wire is exceptionally tight. And I'm going to assume that both of these get routed through there. I'm going to click this in. I'm going to click that wire in. Now, this is really tight. That's really tight in there, right in there. It just doesn't want to go. I'm pretty sure this is the right position for the ignition coil too. I don't even know if I can get it to go. If you want it to go, you basically have to remove this strain relief piece. I'm going to assume this ground goes here. Let's get a couple of screws. So I have two sets of these 20 millimeter long M5 left. This I think is 16 millimeter. So I'm going to use the 20s. They already have Loctite on them. Here I believe to be ground, so we'll hook up the ground to that. Bring it down, but not all the way. Make sure the flywheel key's there, and this is clean. Get the flywheel on here. M8 by 1.25 flywheel nut. 13 millimeter. Need a piston stop though. Nylon rope. I set these to 13 foot-pounds. Okay. Back off the flywheel. Pull your piston stop out. Business card. The business card is a spacer between the flywheel magnet and the ignition coil. Now you can tighten down your ignition coil. And this stupid thing just looks like it wants to get caught in the flywheel. Move the flywheel off, take your spacer out. Flywheel should move freely. Sorry, John, I'm destroying the strain relief. You're going to have to make new if you want one. I don't think it fits in here. There's just not enough room under there. All these wires go through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a small quick tie, just because it looks like that would be a good idea. Click. Heck, looks like we can put the starter on right now. Nice and smooth. So now I'm actually looking for 3 bolts in the long one. One, 2, 3. Let's get some oil in there. This shroud is probably scraping. That's the problem. As annoying as that is, I'm not that worried about that, because that'll wear down. Don't actually know where these wires get routed. I assume it's kind of by the side here. Looks like one of these goes in this way. That's kind of the idea. So that setup is awful frustrating. Kind of wondering if this actually should come in from the other angle here. I don't know where the wires travel. They don't have a specific route. At least nothing obvious here. So that's at least kind of frustrating. So I apologize in advance. I don't have a wire routing diagram for you, but what I do have, wait a minute, is what looks like a rubber piece that might just slide. So let's play with this. I wonder, does this go in like this? Sure looks like it fits there. There we go. It's quite a bit of slack if you ask me, but whatever. I'm just going to route this guy and into the clip here. So there we go. Once we can keep these wires out the way, we'll be all set. Okay, I'm going to put just a little bit of 1184 on this one, because it doesn't have any strain relief, and it sure looks like it could use some. Well, now looks like a good time to put the carburetor down. A little bit of grease. Attach the fuel line. At least it looks like I should be attaching the fuel line first. Nope. I remember Walt noting this. It's like, how the heck do you get the carburetor on? It's hitting here. Is there any way around it? Nope. Gotta undo this top piece. Looks like there's a single Phillips head under here. Now, supposedly, if we do this, the whole thing can go boing on you. You just don't know. Single Phillips. To hold it together, pull the Phillips out, lay that aside. Maybe let's hold this down. I don't know. Maybe just really gently. Put this to the side. Pretty sure that falls under the category of epically stupid. How about I just get this back, because it looks like it wants to go back together. Now, how about if I just put this back together now? There. Okay. Spring down.